Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What is going on in law enforcement? With us today is Jay Clayton. He's the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, traditionally the largest U.S. Attorney's office in the country and the most active. Well, Jay Clayton, always good to talk to you. Give us an update of what is going on. I mean, there's so many conflicts going on all over the place, and I know you're probably in the center of all of them. So I'm going to go with your thoughts. And where do you want to start?
Well, Happy New Year, John, and like you, I'm an optimist, and I think we're gonna continue to do very good work here for the people of New York this year. Update: our focus has been on gun-toting criminals, getting them off the streets. You and I have been talking about it now for about 6 months. We're making real progress, John. We are getting people who are career criminals, who are using guns, getting them charged federally, getting them detained, and improving the quality of life. Since we last spoke, we also closed down an open-air drug market in one of our housing projects. The gang had taken over some of the vacant apartments and was using it for their activities. Great work with the NYPD. Poor kids having to walk through an open air drug market on their way to school. This was only 5 blocks from the northeast corner of Central Park. So, John, we are continuing to focus on the crime that adversely affects the quality of life for New Yorkers. So that's sort of number one.
Well, that is a wonderful thing that the federal government and under President Trump and under your leadership here in New York is that if the state government or city government is not putting the criminals away, that the federal government is supplementing it and doing what you have to do.
And John, I firmly believe that it's what New Yorkers want. People walk up to me on the street, they introduce themselves, and they say, thank you for Washington Square Park. Thank you for the housing projects. Thank you for focusing on the really hardened criminals who have such an adverse impact on quality of life, particularly for our most vulnerable, John. I mean, it's really the people who have a hard time getting to school, who have a hard time getting to their job, whose life is most adversely affected by this kind of crime.
Well, I've had so many discussions about criminals that have been arrested by our state or city for 50 times, 60 times, and by the time the police are working out their reports, they're going home already. And it's just very disheartening. So I'm so glad that the federal government is able to do under the law to do what they have to do to keep our city safer.
Well, thank you, and I would go further. I mean, it's just unacceptable. It's disheartening and it's unacceptable, and New Yorkers don't want it. So that's what we're doing. Otherwise, John, I'm looking at the financing of what I would say is the financing of discontent. People, this is America. It is the most wonderful place that we have the First Amendment. We can say what we think. If we don't like the president, we can say we don't like the president. If we don't like policies, we can say we don't like policies. There's no other place in the world. But what scares me is whether foreign money is promoting those views. We have the most open society, but I think our adversaries take advantage of our openness. They're looking at us and saying, let's use that great strength of America against America. Now, I'm just speaking generally because I'm at the incipient stages of looking at this. But if financing is coming from foreign adversaries in our political debate, that's a problem.
And what I've heard through all my sources, because people call WABC all the time and with tips, and what I'm looking at is they use American citizens or American companies as conduits for foreign money.
That is something we are looking at, John. The old adage, follow the money. I want to make sure that the money that is flowing into political debate, social debate in America comes from Americans, that it doesn't come from our adversaries.
Homeland Security the other day made a mention, and I think the Department of Justice in Washington did, that the fact is that money being funneled in for protesters and they go from city to city, state to state, and as needed. And the sad part of it is the media covers those protesters, and maybe they're spending a few $1 million on protesting, but they're getting $1 zillion worth of PR on television.
Look, we're looking at this, John, but there's no reason why the media shouldn't be asking, where did you get the money? There is no reason.
Right. Yes.
That's protected by the First Amendment.
Where do we go from here, Mr. Clayton?
We just want to keep back to quality of life in New York. We just want to keep making progress every day. If New Yorkers have views on where we should be putting our resources, the types of crime we should be focused on, I want to hear them. I know your platform is wonderful that way. People call in. If your guests have views, please ask them. And I want to keep this dialogue going, John. You're there for New York, and I really appreciate it.
Well, Jay Clayton, United States Attorney for the Southern District, and we will keep the communications open, and we'll give you the feedback as we get it from our listeners, and we got millions of listeners, and thank you so much for what you do and caring about America, and please thank the President that you're close to, and thank him for loving New York and caring about New York.
Will do, and he does love New York.
Thank you so much.
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.